Welcome to your magic moon message. This is the peace dealer. Actually, literally about to cross Peace Way. I didn't even plan it like that. Anyway, the moon is in Sagittarius and the sun is in Aries. So we have reached the end of Aries season. And you get to see how much in just one short month, really. Can you see it? Oh, you probably can't see it. Peace! Yeah, you get to see in just one short month how you have begun to reimagine your character and who you are. You've begun to step into the original, or let's just say new direction that reflects who you have decided you want to become, where you want to go. We do this every year, but unlike previous years, this revisits something that hasn't happened since the 1800s. And of course, that is Neptune entering Aries. So as the moon in Sagittarius is getting ready to kick in this Sagittarius signature, this is going to be providing an ascended understanding of who you are and how you apply this perspective as we will now step into Taurus season and ground so much more naturally this definition of our characters. The influence of Chiron in Aries can be painful for any of you who still, whether unconsciously or consciously, have given your power away to anything outside of yourself, which now can make projections on your character sting, hurt, or discourage you, when it's merely just supposed to remind you the authenticity that operates and influences every single step that you take. And so as such, each and every single action that applies this shift and changing everything you've ever believed with all this Pisces stellium is going to actively challenge other people's beliefs, what other people think, and what other people identify in those beliefs that cause them to feel like you're attacking them. And as such, I got a long banana. Pause. Anyway, and as such, why that's very significant is as we go into Taurus and square Pluto, the intensity and extremeness of pressure collectively and socially from others is meant to really crystallize not only your intentions, but also the natural value of who you are as an individual. It's not up to other people to really get it. It's up to you to stand for it, especially as Mars is going to enter Leo. As of now, Mercury is in Aries, the moon is in Sagittarius, and it's going to be very easy for others to kind of let you know where they stand and who they are. Once again, relative to how well you've reimagined yourself and incorporating innovation of old traditions that reflect that we're entering a new world. So in this transition period, you do see echoes and remnants of the old world philosophies and traditions. You have to work really hard to make it successful in this life. You're not really anybody if everyone in the world doesn't acknowledge it. And it's one thing to say that, you know, you don't believe in that and you believe in yourself and you're moving forward with new traditions. It's another thing to actively be it and live it. And that's where the moon in Sagittarius is showing you, literally from like a bird's eye view, what next steps you're taking, and most importantly, how you have effectively ascended and are harvesting this reimagined self and original power you activated 3 weeks ago. Moving through the moon in Scorpio, the boundaries have been drawn. And so relative to the value of who you know you are and said reimagined self, your willingness to not compromise on that and make harsh cuts no matter who they are or what it is going to further add along towards this development of self. Where, especially with two I told you so's, where the burden of proof against work you've done or, facets of yourself you've achieved are non-negotiable and honestly no longer up for debate. So anyone at this point who's still reinforcing previously debunked claims with which you debunked with your receipts and your own actions are merely just in denial, trying to force something that will never really ever be true, which is any perspective that wishes to see you as less than you are for whatever rhetoric, reasoning, or anything that's really just fallacious and erroneous in nature. As such, fully expect more name calling, fully expect, more false equivalences, because you're dealing with those who, while they might put on a good front, can't really hide the way they feel inside and the threatening of said beliefs in a world that is actively crumbling. Many people will find out once it's too late. And some of you have already been given word and have already moved in that right direction. The moon in Capricorn follows this transit, which is going to complete the organization of how we utilize all of this development. But with the moon in Sagittarius and trining the Aries placements, it gives you that ascended understanding of what direction to take next. And let's kind of talk a little bit more about that. Because we had the moon in Pisces before the new moon, which revisited everything that we are changing in our beliefs. Then as it went into Gemini, Mercury and Venus retrograded back into Pisces. We began hardcore reevaluation of said beliefs because we had begun to reimagine who we newly are. So the moon in Gemini changed those thoughts to reflect the changing nature of our beliefs. Then the moon in Virgo brought up a change in your behavioral patterns to reflect how your beliefs have changed and to also account for this recent evolution of your thought process. So the moon in Sagittarius is synthesizing the factual basis and the shift in behavior so it could begin to have you actually practice what you preach, shift your philosophical way of life and how that applies directly to how you move, okay? It's only going to be a painful process if at some level you have not accepted that the words and the weight of other people matter more than your own. If you have refused to accept that you trust other people and what they say and think about you over yourself. Like, it's very easy to say, oh, I trust myself. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you know what I'm saying? I control my destiny. I rule my fate. And yet most of these same people, there's children watching. Most of those same people apply their orifice on certain parts of other people and just continuously lollipop suck it over and over instead of standing up for themselves and taking the risk to believe in yourself. Because it's just so much easier to default to authority that never really had authority over you until you gave them that power. So, for those of you willing to fight that good fight perpetually, and you don't necessarily need external validation to know that what you're doing is aligned in the integrity of yourself, then you're prepared to continue to piss off all the other people who gain leverage from manipulating you or feeling like they have something above you because you have refused to even begin to acknowledge that. And that's what shows people's true colors. The moon in Sagittarius is going to be showing you really who people are, not based on what they say, based on what they do, based on how they react to you, and based on how well they accept your reimagined self or not. I am no longer compromising, never did. If I ever did before, I have an idea that I'm limitless, which is the truth. We are limitless. We're infinity years. So no one who acknowledges me as anything but that will I trust, will I do business with, will I have anything to do with, will I ever be engaged with, especially romantically. And that can come with its fair share of consequences. And I'm prepared to meet every single one. That's what responsibility, accountability, and integrity is. But then again, this is why I can't be bought. This is why nobody can just offer up a number and buy me to do what they want. Something that many other people can't say. Okay? I'm grateful that what I'm doing here is 100% from the mud. I didn't have investors invest thousands or close to $1 million for me to get a studio or for me to be where I'm at now. Everything that you see here now came 100% from my own effort and the support that came from you guys. In a period where little to no one close to me really believes in what I do. Not to say that there isn't, people offering support, but yeah, it's not like they really see it as anything important. And if it wasn't for you guys, I would have no reason to believe there is worth in any of it. I am starting my new app in July. I'm still pre-recording material, but everything I'm doing moving forward is strictly just for y'all who've, made it a point to let me know, like, yo, you really do help people. You really have helped me. You really have, been something of value, however we want to say it. And I really just can't thank you guys enough. You taught me why money ain't shit. You really taught me what's worth more than like money and riches. And not in a superficial way where it's like, oh, I don't need money. Like, seriously. So, I will always, oh, is that a mosquito? I will always, honor and respect and thank you guys for that. And just like, I'm making these realizations, I hope you are reminded that, just because a majority of people on this planet, don't really know their worth and value or don't know yours, it doesn't mean that you're any less valuable. It's so easy for people to be influenced by peer pressure, to say what everyone else is saying, to put a laugh track and just mock what you say, but they don't have any substance. This is why they have to relate to that. They may say they do, but when it comes down to it, their own actions reflect that they don't, just based off the way that they react to you or treat you, and regardless of whatever rhetoric or reasoning that makes sense for them to put behind it. You could scream and shout it all day. The truth is the truth. So yeah, with that being said, this is a glorious conclusion to Aries season. Like I like to say, we just getting started. And in not much longer, Uranus will be in Gemini, which would have been the last time Neptune was in Aries and Uranus is in Gemini. We had the Civil War, and we also had the World War II. So, for what it's worth, prepare yourselves. And other than that, as this kind of shows you the higher realization of your reimagined self, it is transcending any limits you really believed you had prior, and any illusion that in any way you are separate from the source of the universe. Okay? That's a lie. You directly connected. And so you must move and act like it, literally take action like it before anyone else can realize. And if you're called crazy for that, so be it. Y'all stay blessed as always. And if you are prepared to see who you have always been and see who you are, comment down below who you see you are, and claim all that good stuff for you. Peace.